radio.net. Let's see that www.maddronaldradio. Madd Ronald Radio Network on Facebook, Madd Ronald Radio Vision on YouTube, Madd underscore Ronald underscore Roland on Instagram. All right, internet, what's going on, y'all? What it be like? Hey, I see Jamil Parker done signed in. What's happening, homie? What it be like, man? All right, we finna have some. Hey, man, I got some conversation for you, man. Hey, if you can get to the Facebook page, I'm finna show the video of what happened last week in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So you might want to see that right there because of the fact that I don't have the ability to show on this platform the video on Instagram. But at the same time, man, it seemed like the world been going crazy, man. I was watching the news, man, and I'm like, God damn, it's buck wild out here, man. And I mean, really, man, the way things are, it's like crazy as fuck, man. I'm talking about, hey, they ain't let up on killing black people, so shit, that's business as usual. Then at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's like shit, man, we still endangered species. I always say every day, man, we the most hunted, most hated, and most wanted, and we most hunted, hated, and wanted by our own. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy, man, because of the fact that it's like we living back in the motherfucking 1960s or something, man, the way that things are looking right now. And I'm really tripping off of it because of the fact that they protesting in the streets, people fighting and killing, man. Motherfuckers is fighting over the Constitution, man, and it's so fucking crazy. I mean, I'm just mind blown by it, man. The shit is crazy to me, man. You know what I mean? And when I say it's crazy, man, I mean that because of the fact that I never thought I would see the world like this, man. You know what I mean? And for those that are on, for those that are joining me over on Facebook in a minute, I'm finna show. I just want to give a little bit of a What do I want to do? I want to give a little bit of a summary of what I've been watching on the news this week here because the news is bombarded with this hit. Tall dog, what's up, homie? I see you, man. But the world is bombarded by this confusion and this madness. And anybody that has the ability to want to see the summary of the news that I've gotten that I'm showing on Facebook, go to my Facebook page, Madd Ronald Radio Network podcast on that page, and you'll see it because I'm finna show it in a few seconds. But it's buck wild, man. The way the things are going, they killed a guy last night in Portland, Oregon. They killed a Trump supporter last night in Portland, Oregon. They said these motherfuckers rallying up, man, like 60 cars strong and just rolling. I mean, no, wait. I might be wrong. Might have been 600 cars, but I might be wrong because these motherfuckers is rolling deep. And, man, they coming through. It's getting like the old days, man. And the thing about it is they out there fighting, man. They fighting over the Constitution, man. You know what I mean? And the thing about this shit here that's going on in the world right now is that Donald Trump is fear mongering to the extent to where he got people that are, you know what I mean, believing that motherfuckers gonna come in their houses and violate their rights and do all kind of crazy shit to them. So you know what I mean. But at the same time, he has nothing to say about how the police is still killing black people, man. You know, and it's interesting to me. I'm watching the news early this week, and I see how the police gunned down Jacob Blake with his back turned, getting in the car with no weapon or nothing. But yet, and still at the same time, as I'm looking at this thing, you know what I mean. A couple days later, the police gunned the boy Kyle Rittenhouse. He kills two people at a protest rally in Kenosha, Wisconsin that they had for Jacob Blake. He comes out as a vigilante illegally armed with a big ass AR-15 strapped to him. He shoots three people. He shoots three, kills two, wounds one. And the crazy thing about that shit, he walked up to the police and they just dismissed him. If he was black and would have did that shit, there's no way in this world. You know what I mean? And it's fucking crazy, man. But you know what I mean? I want what I'm gonna do right now is I want to show a little bit of footage. So, like I said, anybody that got access to anybody that wants to see the footage, if you go to the Madd Ronald Radio Network podcast page on Facebook, or if you're one of my friends at Madd Ronald Roland on Facebook, then you'll be able to watch the footage. because of the fact that the footage is interesting. This is the first one is when they shot Jacob Blake. So y'all, you know, the dialogue will be starting up at we'll be you know, giving opinions, because I do love to see the comment section.
A police officer shooting a black man multiple times. It was caught on camera, and it has sparked anger overnight. Hundreds of protesters converging at the scene. Alex Perez joins us now from Kenosha, Wisconsin, with more on this investigation. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Cecilia. A long night of protests here in Kenosha. Authorities say this all started as a call for a domestic incident. We want to warn you, some of the images are difficult to watch. This morning, outrage over this distressing video that shows a black man shot multiple times by police as he tried to get into his vehicle. Identified by the governor of Wisconsin as Jacob Blake, the shooting happened just after 5 p.m. when officers responded to a domestic incident. In the video, 3 officers are following the victim as he walks to his car, but as he opens the door and reaches inside, an officer grabs his shirt and several shots ring out.
Shot fired. Can you advise if all officers are okay?
We need rescue ASAP.
2805 40th Street for a shots fired call.
Officers are okay.
Blake's fiance says 2 of her kids were in the car where Blake was shot.
They didn't even know the kids was in the car. And I'm telling the woman cop, I'm like, can you please get back before I shoot you, get back. Like, these officers is head, I'm like, shoot me, my kids is in the car.
Overnight, protesters confronting law enforcement, taking to the streets.
Black Lives Matter!
The city of Kenosha issuing a citywide curfew until 7 a.m. Several garbage trucks set on fire. A fire was started on the ground floor of the courthouse. Law enforcement using tear gas on protesters. In a statement overnight, the governor of Wisconsin saying, "I have said all along that although we must offer empathy, equally important is our action. In the coming days, we will demand just that of elected officials in our state who have failed to recognize the racism in our state and our country for far too long." Authorities say Blake remains hospitalized in serious condition. Here in Wisconsin, the State Department of Justice takes over the investigation. They have about 30 days to turn over their findings to the prosecutor. TJ?
All right, Alex, thank you so much.
Because you got okay, that video right there was done. But at the same time, you know, people, I can understand somewhat that some people within the world that live in the world of white privilege feel that they have to forfeit some of their white privilege in order to allot equality to all, because of the fact that the United States of America was built upon and based upon a system that we have that was built upon white supremacy. Because remember something now, the descendants of the enslaved Africans that were brought from Africa and the enslaved United States of America. So throughout the course of time, the United States has become the richest country in the world. Free labor. By the same token, things like this here, you know, have existed systemically because of the fact that they've developed certain things, like, let us say, like police departments. You know what I mean? They developed police departments and stuff like that after slavery. You see what I'm saying? But in the United States Constitution, it states that slavery has been abolished except for the convicted felon. But if you trip off the United States Constitution, right, and it says this, and then if you take into consideration the population of the prison system across the United States of America, the population of the prison system is 50% black. So when they said that slavery had been abolished except for the convicted felon, they understood what they were talking about, because of the fact that black people are only somewhere in the area about 13% of the United States population, but we're 50% of the prison population. Systemic racism is something that is set in place, just like redlining. And all these systems are set in place because of the fact that black people themselves are not, how do I want to say this? Black people themselves were meant to be kept down and in their place. Now, what we have now, when you look at the world now, and you can recognize this, because when you see Black Lives Matter, something that you see a lot of when you see Black Lives Matter is you see a lot of white people, and they recognize this. They understand their white privilege. And this is a reality right here. We ourselves are living in a space right now in the United States of America where when we look at the world and we're looking at this truly, you know what I mean, for what it really stands for, you know what I mean, it's something else because of the fact that we got to look at this here, man, as like, shit, man, people fighting for equality, man. This is a fight they're gonna be fighting forever, man. I mean, I'm for it, man. I'm 100%. You know what I'm saying? All for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a reality right there. You know, it's like crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? And the world itself, man, is like are accepting of the means and the ways. You know what I'm saying? Of the world being the way they are, but at the same time, somewhere through here, all people were to be created and treated equally, no matter what color they are. But that's not the way that the system is in the United States of America. Donald Trump is one that it's funny to me, right? Because people say Donald Trump is a racist. I'm gonna explain something to y'all about Donald Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter, but Donald Trump is not a racist. You guys have to get that out of your heads. Trump is not a racist. What Donald Trump is a classist and an elitist. Donald Trump is against anybody that is in the lower class, but he will also use them because they can keep him in the upper class. That is why his fan base that he rallies to are poor whites. See what I'm saying? And he hollers out, and then at the same time, like when he's talking like the middle class whites, he fear mongers and he talks about things like what the world's going to be like if Biden takes office, right? But at the same time, we got to look at what is the world like since Trump has taken office. We've never seen the world like this here. The United States of America was the most civil society on earth. Right now, you got motherfuckers out here shooting each other in the name of the United States Constitution. You got motherfuckers out here bearing arms. You got motherfuckers fighting because they support one candidate and you support another. That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it, I see Damon Zag Smith Jr. Zigzag, what's up, homie? I see you, man. Okay, I see L Brother, the #1, said, what do you think about all these white people screaming Black Lives Matter? I was just there, and the majority are white. I understand what you're saying. I know that the majority of them are white. Those are supporters. But at the same time, that support is needed and necessary because those are the white people that recognize their white privilege. See, I'm going to explain something, and I don't know how this sounds. I'm going to explain something, and I don't know how this sounds. But to be realistic with you, in the struggle we talk about for Black equality, we would never gain equality without those white supporters because they'll wipe out all the motherfucking Black people they want to, don't give a fuck, and blame it on us. And they wouldn't give a fuck. They'll blame it on us. They'll wipe out all of us. Wouldn't even give a fuck. But see, when you start putting white bodies in front of it, then it's something. You see what I'm saying? When you start putting white bodies in front of it, it becomes something else. You see what I'm saying? But once again, like I said, these are the people that recognize their white privilege. You see what I'm saying? That is why these people call themselves allies. But also understand, just because you see white people there, these white people are not just they got their own agendas, like those anti-government people, like Antifa, like ACAB. If y'all seen in places where they've been having the rallies at, y'all see where they got you see ACAB on the walls, and you got words there right like 1312. You see those numbers, 1312. 1312 is ACAB. ACAB is anti-police. It means all cops are bastards, is what it means. But at the same time, these are the anarchists in the group. See, the BLM movement, they have so many people that will come into the movement and support, but everybody's supporting for their own purposes. Nobody's there 100% for their own thing. See, this is why I was just reading today. You know, I was just reading today how I was just reading today, or watching the news rather, and they were talking about how they got the all Black Lives Matter mural. It's in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard at Highland in Hollywood. The thing about this that's interesting is that all Black Lives Matter is something to where they saying that this is when this is also geared toward the recognition and support of the transgender community, also to Black Lives Matter, something like that. That's what it's related to. They did it in rainbows and shit like that. They got a bunch of people out here, but everybody got different agendas. See what I'm saying? I have been to Black Lives Matter meetings myself personally. And when I went to Black Lives Matter meetings, it wasn't for me simply because of the fact that I got to understand and know what the organization represents. Myself personally, I'm all for any and everything regarding and geared towards the enhancement of the quality of life of Black people. But at the same time, the thing that I had to take into consideration and think about was that also there were a lot of transgender there. Now, I don't give a fuck about what your preferences are, but the cause that I'm fighting for is not gender. You see what I'm saying? See, if I'm taking up the cause, I'm taking up the cause that was left over by my ancestors. You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact that somewhere through here it was manipulated. By the same token, it was also it was manipulated. By the same token, it was also at some points misconstrued. Then at the same time, it was also antagonized at some points. Because you got to remember something at my age, you got to remember now, I was born in the 60s during civil rights. See what I'm saying? And when I came of age and started getting into able to have understandings of this, they were eliminating this because the gangs were becoming so strong. They eliminated all the leaders. Then at the same time, what had happened also was that they had also taken upon themselves and injected crack cocaine, and the government started agitating the situations taking place within the United States among Blacks. I mean, rather among our gangs, let us say, not among Blacks, but among gangs, by providing us with high-powered weapons and shit like that there. So now we got automatic weapons, and we got Russian assault rifles and shit like that, and we got crack cocaine. So we got all this different shit the United States government is giving us. So now at this point in time, it got so crazy and mixed up that we didn't even know who the fucking enemy was. You see what I'm saying? It was so crazy and mixed up that at this point in our life, we didn't even know who the enemy was. You know, but at the same time, as we grow and as we go, now as we regain consciousness, or rather as I have regained my consciousness, I have an understanding of who I am. I have an understanding of what I represent. I have an understanding of what it is that I should fight for. And if I myself should fight for the representation of my own family, for my being, for my people in general, then that means as a Black man, I take on the struggle of the ancestors. So by that and through that, that is different from the struggle that we deal with when we talk about like Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. Even though Black Lives Matter is cool and all that there, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm for anything. But at the same time, I feel this way. I feel that when we look at the Bloods and the Crips, we are the fastest growing, most powerful beings, groups in the United States of America. Because if you look, they're everywhere. The only thing is that there needs to be direction. There needs to be an agenda. We are a movement. The only thing about us as a people is that we ourselves as a people need to have an understanding first and foremost that we are not our own enemy. See, as we grow, we can't look at the past being what the past was. Stanley Morris, I see, just checked in. What's up, Wiggles? That's the homie Big Wiggles, 6 Dudes Brim. What's up, Wiggles? But yeah, like I say, as we grow and as we look at the world for what it truly is, we got to have an understanding that greater things happen. Right now, man, if you look at the world, man, Black people, man, we up against COVID-19. We up against motherfucking police murder. We up against us murdering each other. Then we up against all these levels of systemic racism. That ain't shit. Wait until the eviction moratoriums are over with and watch what homelessness is like with Black people. See, for those of y'all that have never been to Los Angeles, you would never have an understanding of what it looks like for what homelessness is. In Los Angeles, there are black people sleeping on the sidewalks. Literally, I bullshit you not, and I kid you not. And if you walk through downtown Los Angeles, they're everywhere. And the point that I'm making when I say that is that we ourselves got some shit here, you know what I mean, to deal with. Man, Wiggles, man, you know what I mean. Hey, better than ever, man. You know what I mean. They've the COVID-19 didn't get me, so you know I'm a whole lot. The COVID-19 didn't take me down, man. I'm a whole lot better. So you know what I mean. I'm like back at it, man. I'm finna start doing a lot more podcasting. For what the world is, man, I gotta start doing a lot more podcasting, man. You know what I'm saying? And I see L Brother the #1 said, I agree with you. Take care of house first. Everybody else causing confusion. Well, the thing about it, homie, is that we ourselves, we gotta have our own movement. The problem with the Bloods and the Crips is that we don't have an understanding of that because of the fact that we gotta have an understanding of the fact that we gotta create tiers in this here. And when I say that because we lose a lot of good conscious people, man, because they don't want to be a part of all the madness and the foolishness no more. And after a while, we grow up and become men. When we become men, we don't want to be involved in the bullshit. How can you take a life and bring life into the world? How can you be a man and raise a family and raise kids and look at your kids, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the kid across the fence, and the kid across the fence might go up the block and join the gang down there, and your kid might join the gang down the street, and you looking at it don't make no sense. It's the same type of situation because in reality, the gang situation in Los Angeles is very geographical and it comes across the same way. You know what I'm saying? Open Mind Grind said you have some major subject matter. Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. I'm gonna start back doing a lot more podcasting, and I'm gonna start going live a lot more. You know what I mean? Wiggles said, "You remember when I called you when you was in the house?" Hell yeah, I remember when you called me. Wiggles shit. Hey, Wiggles, I remember, homie. Hey, Wiggles, I remember you told me if I needed anything, call you. I remember that, homie. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate that, homie. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Wiggles, you, everybody else, I told them, for everybody and anybody that wished me well, that sent me their prayers and gave me their support when I was fighting COVID-19 in that hospital, I thank you and I appreciate that 100% because of the fact that you don't know what the world's like till you're on your back and you don't know who's in your corner till you land in that hospital bed, man. When a motherfucker fighting for his life, it's another world, man. And that COVID-19 ain't nothing to play with, man. That shit hit me so hard, man. I was like, damn, I didn't even know it hit me, man. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful, man. You know what I mean? Hey, that was good looking out, Wiggles. I remember that, homie. Because I remember you, so you told me, you said, man, if you need anything, and I truly appreciate that. Because of the fact that, like I say, you don't know who's on your side until you in them positions, man. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, y'all, you know what I'm saying? The thing about all this is that as a people, you know what I'm saying? We ourselves, man, we got to start coming to terms with understanding of what we need to be doing, man. You know, now I'm going to show y'all something, man. The world going crazy. We got Donald Trump losing his goddamn mind up in the White House, antagonizing motherfuckers. Now they doing 600-car caravans, driving through places, antagonizing shit with the motherfucking the Black Lives Matter protesters. You know what I mean? And the anti-Trump support. This shit is becoming gangbanging on a whole nother level. We are practically in a fucking civil war right here in the United States of America. I'm telling y'all this, and it ain't no big deal right now. Because I'm gonna tell you when it gets serious. It gets serious. Now, one thing when we watching it and we fighting. But it's another thing when we watching it and the white people are fighting over it. It's a whole nother fucking element. Because now we looking at the world like, what the fuck? You know, sometimes we gotta be like, damn, they killing motherfuckers, man. I'm talking about, man, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, and I say that because they using the Constitution as means and ways of being shit, man. They're using the Constitution as means of defense, means of fighting. Hey, I'm over here on Facebook, y'all. Anybody that want to see the video, next video, go to Facebook. Everybody on Facebook. I'm gonna show y'all this next video here. You know what I mean? On Instagram, y'all can't see it because of the fact that because of the fact that the platform won't let me premiere it on won't let me show it on Instagram. But anyway, y'all, let me see here. I'm still with y'all on Instagram. Let me get this one going.
He just shot them. Hey, dude right here just shot them. Dude right here just shot all them down there. That dude just shot them right there. That dude right here. Here.
Someone injured straight ahead.
Some shit that shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Facebook. I was showing y'all that was Kyle Rittenhouse. That was the young guy in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the 17-year-old from Antioch, Illinois, on the 25th of August, if I'm not mistaken, that went down there with the AR-15. He's 17 years old. He shot and killed 2 people. Then he shot another guy. If you watch the video, you're gonna see that he kills the guy right on video. Anybody watching the video, you saw that there was a body on the ground. He killed the guy on video. And then at the same time, he shot another dude in the arm. And the thing about it that's so crazy is the fact that when you look at this video, he walks up to the police department with an AR-15 strapped to him in plain sight, and the police dismiss him and disregard him and tell him to get out of the street. And there's a guy hollering, and the guy saying, "Hey, that dude just shot all them down there." And the police says, "Who hit?" And they say, "Who, him?" And they say, "Yeah." And they just totally disregard him and let him go. I compare him to Jacob Blake. What the fuck is wrong with this picture here? It's a double standard to the world we living in simply because of the fact that how is this? How can this dude walk up to the police? And there's more footage of this where the police department are thanking these guys, the militia guys that they're with. The police department is actually thanking these guys, giving them water and shit. They arrested him a couple days later, within the last few days. They arrested him at home in Antioch, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really, really, really kind of wild, man. You know what I mean? Big Wiggles, stay blessed. Love you, homie. Stay blessed, G. Love you, homie. Hey, same here, Big Wiggles. Love you, homie. Hey, always, Wig. But the thing about it that's so crazy is that when we're looking at this here, and I'm looking at this picture, right? Now, y'all got to remember, the first thing about this that I started with was we was talking about Jacob Blake and how they shot Jacob Blake. They shoot Jacob Blake walking to his car with his kids in the car. This is how they shoot Jacob Blake. He walking to the car, he got his kids in the car. Funny thing about this is that Jacob Blake he was unarmed when he was walking to the car. At the same time, you know what I mean, his back was turned. Police grabbed him by the back of his t-shirt and they shot him 7 times in the back. This is my question. We live in the United States of America. We live in a country that's supposed to be for free democracy, freedom for all, and we are supposed to live, you know what I mean, the pursuit of justice and happiness and all that bullshit, right? People, this is what they say. This is what they say, right? How it's supposed to be. But the funny thing about this shit to me is, what the fuck is more threatening? My question is, what is more threatening? Is a black man more threatening walking to his car with his back turned to the police? Is this black man more threatening to the police than a young white boy with a fucking AR-15? Because I'm curious. I don't understand it. You know, myself personally, I really don't understand it. And you know what I mean? And that's a dialogue right there that I had to bring to the table because of the fact that it's just a trip to watching and to grasp a hold of, because of the fact that we got to look at this shit for what it really is, man. You know, it's a devil's within the world. These white people, these white boys showed up with fucking AR-15s and the police department thanked them. Now, I'm going to share something. I think it was in Michigan earlier this year or late last year that an armed white militia showed up at the State House. And the governor, I think it was, had to be protected by state police because of this armed white militia. Now, I'm going to show y'all the funny thing about this here, right? Shit like this here, right? It's not no big deal because we have the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, which allows people the right to bear arms and have their weapons and all that shit, right? But this is the thing about that, right? That's cool. Everybody got the right to bear arms, have their weapons and all this shit here, right? But now there was an armed militia that go a little ways back. They caused laws to be changed. Showed up at the motherfucking State House in California. Showed up with their guns. When the police department used to harass people, they would show up with their weapons. And they would be right there, you know what I mean, making sure that things were just, making sure that there was no abuses and nothing like that took place. They literally changed the open carry law in California because of this militia. Did no more than what these guys are doing now. Now watch this. The militia that I'm talking about is the Black Panther Party, because the Black Panther Party was originally named the Black Panther Party for Defense. The Black Panther Party, they themselves actually exercised their Second Amendment rights, the right to carry, the right to bear arms. California was an open carry state back then. See what I'm saying? That's and now it's crazy because of the fact that when we look at the world for what it is now, you know what I mean? We look up, and this is the funny thing. That I'm gonna tell y'all another funny thing about this world we live in. This is the United States of America. Why is it a black man is criminalized with a gun when guns are part of the culture? The United States was taken with a gun. The United States itself, that we live in a space where in this world, the United States of America was taken with a gun. See, remember something. First to go in, the missionaries went in and tried to proselytize the people and convert their religions and shit like that. There said that they were pagans and heathens and all kind of shit like that there. But at the same time, as we grow and as we go and as we look at this for what it truly is right now, we're looking at this here to be something else. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of crazy. Y'all don't forget to support my content. Don't forget MaddRonaldRadio.net, the Madd Ronald Radio Network podcast. Don't forget the Madd Ronald Radio Network podcast on Facebook, and also my podcast is available on all platforms, all the streaming platforms. It's available on iHeart. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Google. It's available on Apple Podcasts. All of the podcasts. I can't name them all. Tune in. All of them. Y'all can find my podcast on all of them. But anyway, like I'm saying to you guys, though, you know what I'm saying? The thing about it is that, you know, it's crazy because of the fact that when we look at this whole thing, man, it's something else. See, Dante Marbury said, "Gotta go, big homie. Love you. Trying to make it over. Grant me safe passage." All right, homie, be safe. But yeah, like I was saying to you though, The thing about it is that, man, we live in a space right now in the world, man, where we would never understand. But at the same time, we also live in a space where the world is changing. Every day the world is changing simply because of the fact that where we're at in the world now, where we're going, we don't have an idea or understanding. I saw on the news today, there's a conversation taking place where they're discussing reparations. They're having a conversation now where they're discussing reparations. They're discussing giving reparations to black people. They have a reparations task force. So we're in a whole lot of new places here in the world. The U.S. Constitution itself is something that is being utilized, and everybody stands on a different side. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a black man. And at the same time, they're going to pander for my vote. Donald Trump says he's done the most for black people. I don't know what the fuck he done, because the shit hasn't trickled down. Biden is the motherfucker that wrote the Mass Incarceration Act. And you know what I mean? I'm one of the people that was affected by that. You know what I'm saying? Also have people that are still in. So to me, this is all the same. If y'all ever noticed, when we look at the fucking politics of this shit here, Democrat, Republican, it don't make a fucking difference. It's all the same. When Barack Obama was in office, it didn't make a motherfucking difference. It was all the same. We look at the world for what the world is, but at the same time, as a people, black people need to sit down and figure out what we need to be doing in order to give them our votes. And if we're gonna vote, I'm gonna tell everybody, vote, but don't give your vote. Make them motherfuckers buy your vote. See, because first and foremost, we need to come up with an agenda where we ourselves are capable and able of sitting down, figuring out what it is that we need. Once we figure out what it is that we need, then we can go. Remember what I said before. And anybody that's ever heard me before understands that I myself personally, when I speak about the political process, I speak about, what if the day came that all gang members that were eligible to vote took the time out to vote? What if all supporters of us took the time out to vote? What if we had a march? Let us just say, here we go, hypothetically, y'all, we're gonna go into my imagination, my mind at this moment. What if we had a march? What if we marched to City Hall, right? Say like Los Angeles. We got hundreds of thousands of gang members in LA. Everybody that's eligible to vote and everybody that's a supporter. If we marched to City Hall and they looked up and they seen us, Bloods, Crips, Mexicans, everybody, right? First thing we do is we come up with our own fucking agenda. We come up with our own petition, what it is that we need in our own communities. Once we come up with a petition and an agenda for what we need in our communities, the next move to that will be to the steps of City Hall. They're going to lock City Hall down. They're going to slam the doors shut. The police going to come out and they're going to guard that motherfucker. They're like, we're going to blow this motherfucker up. They're going to take all the motherfucking politicians and the mayor and everybody else. They're going to hide them the fuck out. But this is what's going to happen. There's going to be that one motherfucker that's going to be a great opportunist. And he's going to seize on the opportunity. And he's going to be willing to come out and talk to us. And the reason he's going to be willing to come out and talk to us is going to be simply because of the fact that he can see that we ourselves have the capability of putting him in office. But in order for him to be able to be put in office by us, because that means that we have to give him our vote. That means that we ourselves he has to be willing to comply with the terms of our petition. See, within our own petition, that grants us the ability to create jobs in our own communities. That also grants us the ability to come about with fair and equal housing within our own communities. See, because of the fact that if you live in a place like LA, you know that a motherfucking 2-bedroom apartment is damn near $3,000. 1-bedroom apartment somewhere in the area about $1,500. But at the same time, if you yourself have an understanding of these types of situations, because this is within the levels of systemic racism. See, when you go when you can go to an apartment building looking for an apartment in Los Angeles, and the motherfucking for rent sign be written in Korean or Spanish. So what does that tell you? You see what I'm saying? We live in the United States of America. That motherfucker supposed to be written in English, FORRENT. That's simple. Not no bunch of symbols and no other shit like that there. But we live in the United States of America. there is systemic racism that takes place. There's a systemic racism to the point to where they say that you got to make a certain amount of money to live in this building. We live in fucking Los Angeles. You live in a place where a 1-bedroom apartment is somewhere in the area of about $1,600. A 2-bedroom might run your ass $25. They want you to make 3 times that amount per month in order to acquire that space. So that means if I'm paying $2,500 a month, you want me to make $7,000 a month, $7,500 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Motherfucking minimum wage, do you know here? I forget what it is. But unless you have a special skill set, or unless you yourself that actually has been on a job for a long time and have the benefit or have the seniority or whatever, your ass ain't even over $20 an hour. And that's a reality right there. You're not even over $20 an hour. And that's a reality. Motherfuckers struggling here. You know what I mean? Remember what I said earlier. The homeless population in Los Angeles is 50% black. Just like the prison population, 50% black. See, this is systemic racism right here in front of our very eyes that we don't even have an understanding of. But the homeless population, black people in Los Angeles, are only somewhere anywhere from 11 to 13% of the fucking population. We are 11 to 13% of the population. But yet and still, we are 50% of the homeless. There are fucking 65,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. So what the fuck does that say? But you got to have a job to acquire, let us say, a 2-bedroom where you're making $7,500 a month to pay the rent, which is $2,500 a month. Or let us say a 1-bedroom apartment. You got a 1-bedroom apartment where the rent is $1,500 a month, right? You got to be making somewhere in the area of about $4,500 a month to live in a $1,500 a month apartment. Motherfuckers are struggling here. Motherfuckers, right now, when the moratorium is over and the evictions kick back in, the homeless population is going to skyrocket in Los Angeles. I know it's going to skyrocket all across the country, but it's going to really affect black people. It's going to really affect us because it's already affecting us. And for the people that don't come from places like LA, if you drive through Los Angeles and you take a look around the city and you see what the fuck it looks like, you will see motherfuckers have motherfucking camps. We have homeless camps on the freeway in Los Angeles. We have homeless camps on sidewalks. Motherfuckers have tents under the freeways. There, Los Angeles is becoming a big ass slum. This motherfucker looks like a third world country when you drive certain areas. It's unbelievable because Los Angeles is somewhere in the area between the 7th and the 14th most strongest economical power in the fuck. But remember once again what I said. 50% of that homeless population is black. Don't forget that part right there. For some motherfucking reason, it affects us the most. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, and the reality of that is that we got to have an understanding of this here. See, these are the things. Instead of fighting each other, we got to fight the system. We got to fight the system and come up with means and ways of how the fuck are we going to live? Because of the fact that we're being pushed out. But at the same time, there ain't no employment. The most equal thing, let me tell y'all, I'm going to be realistic with y'all right now. The greatest level of equality that has been granted in the near years and in the present is COVID-19. And I'm going to tell y'all why I say COVID-19. I say COVID-19 because when COVID-19 struck the economy, it did not discriminate. It might be hectic on black people. It might strike us at twice the rate that it does others. And understand when they say that, they're not talking about numbers. They're talking numbers, but you got to go per capita or percentile. when they say that. In other words, if COVID-19, if there are 100 people and COVID-19 kills 20 of them, COVID-19 just killed 20% of a population of 100. So we're gonna look at 100 to be the whole. If there are 5 black people and COVID-19 kills 7 of them, COVID-19, wait a minute, excuse me, I'm wrong. If there are 10 black people and COVID-19 kills 7 of them, that means COVID-19 just killed 70% of the population, which is a bigger number percentile than any other population. You have to have an understanding of the numbers to understand that. But at the same time, like I'm saying to you guys, the most, and I say that it's kind of sound kind of fucked up, but the greatest level of equality economic COVID-19 because it put everybody out of work. So what's going to happen? My theory, I'm being theoretical right now. My theory is that we're going to have there's going to be a need. I'm trying to let my banner show y'all. That's why I keep reaching for the door. Y'all see the Madd Ronald Radio Network banner behind me. I had that made up. Y'all see that? That's West Adams behind me. That's actually a map of the hood. But like I'm saying to y'all, my theory is that there's going to have to be a reset on our economy. The economy is going to have to be reset simply because of the fact that it doesn't affect some. It affects all of us. Now we're in a space where black people are out of work, white people are out of work, Hispanics, Asians, everybody. Some people ain't got jobs to go back to. If you're a restaurant worker, shit, you better hope you got a job to go back to. If you work in a fucking gym, you better hope you got a job to go back to. Because shit is still shut down in Los Angeles. When you come to Los Angeles, you can't even go into a restaurant and sit down and eat. They putting chairs on the sidewalks out here now. They putting tables in parking lots now. They setting it up so you got to eat outside because of the fact that they still worried about COVID-19. But at the same time, like I'm saying to y'all, we ourselves have to come to terms with understanding and figuring out how we're dealing with it. Because as a people, we ourselves are in some shit. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. El Brother, the #1, said 50% of the homeless population is fucked up. I want to do something about it. I understand what you mean. Hey, it's crazy, homie, because we are in such a fucked up space here in Los Angeles that the housing, see, this is the key right here. It costs so much to live here. That's the thing. If you come to LA, I swear to God, you're going to be mind blown at how homelessness is, and it's right in front of your right in front of your eyes. Motherfuckers are living on sidewalks, literally, homie. Black people are sleeping on fucking sidewalks, and I kid you not. And there are more than just black people, but the black people are the majority of what you see, and that's the reality of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, man, it's a goddamn shame, man, the way that this world is, man. When you look at LA, man, and you look at how it is, but at the same time, that's systemic racism. Because for it to affect such a great amount of people means that there's a system set in place. Housing is another one of those systems. Also, that redlining. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, we have to understand and take into consideration what we need to be doing. See, we ourselves, homie, we need to start coming to terms of understanding, figuring out what we need to power our people. See, in the beginning, the homeless population consisted of people that was on drugs. When I was a kid, it wasn't no homeless people. When I was growing up in LA, there was no homeless people. You see what I'm saying? And that's something else. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. And it's like it's a whole nother element, man. When I was a kid, downtown LA consisted of like motherfuckers who was like winos. Being a wino was a big thing. Motherfuckers was on alcohol. But now we're in another space. We're in an entirely different space now simply because of the fact that, you know what I mean, since crack cocaine, now there's the homeless. Now there was a homeless boom. And the funny thing about that is that, man, when you look at this shit here for what it truly is, it's a whole nother element, man. This world is crazy. See, the perspective from here in Los Angeles is different because there's so much shit going on. No matter what the rest of the world looks like, no matter what the rest of the world is, no matter what people see, no matter what they feel. Right here in LA, man, we have our own situations that we've been dealing with already. See, you know what I mean? We're still dealing with the aftermath, the remnants of the crack epidemic. But at the same token, though, we are also still dealing with, other little bullshit that's going on. But the homelessness is the big boom. Right now, you could imagine if there are 65,000 homeless people in Los Angeles right now, then imagine, and that's in the city of LA. That's not the county. That's not our county. Our county, there's more. I think in the county, we're 40% of the homeless. But the bigger picture and the thing I'm saying about all of this basically is the fact that when we're looking at this here, man, it's another world. But at the same time, when I look at the world now, I can see the world being affected, everybody being affected by the same shit, because the homeless population is not going to just be black. It's not going to just be white. It's going to be a little bit of everybody. They're going to have to reset this economy. They're going to have to reprice the properties. The rent is going to have to come down. They're going to have to make it fair and equal for everybody, because a lot of motherfuckers ain't working. It's a whole nother world, man. You know what I'm saying? And I myself personally, I look at it as crazy. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that as a people, we ourselves need to be doing something to educate our people. We need to be doing something to put our people in position to be prepared for anything and everything, because of the fact that we just don't know what's next. And not knowing what's next that's the scariest thing in the world, that fear of the unknown. On January 1st, we didn't know by April we would be on lockdown. We didn't know that there would be this crazy ass disease. We didn't know that, the world would change. We didn't know that motherfuckers that they would shut down the economy. There are things that we didn't know. But now we're here. So what that means is that what we need to be doing is we need to be rebuilding and reconstructing, because that's very important. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy. I'm just glad that we ain't one of the places that had a fucked up crazy ass weather, where they had the floods and hurricanes and tornadoes and shit, because that would just be one more fucked up element. We all be living in fucking tents. You know what I mean? El Brother number one said you should come to Louisiana. There's empty houses everywhere for cheap. Yeah, but the thing about that is that I'm gonna show you the thing about places like Louisiana and the property, man. They just had that fucking hurricane there, and the shit just fucked up everything. And this is something that happens on a regular basis in these places, which makes the property value cheap. See, I'm from Rochester, New York. And in Rochester, New York, man, the last time when I was down there when I lived out there in 04 to 06. And when I lived there, you could have bought they were selling houses down there for like $30,000. Which is cheap, because in LA to buy a house, you got to buy a house for like damn near $500,000 in Los Angeles. But this is the thing about buying a house in places like that. The weather, see these tornadoes, these hurricanes, these floods, it fucks shit up so bad that motherfuckers might have to get the fuck up out of there within the next few months, the next year or whenever, because there's a natural disaster coming through that's going to level everything or wash everything out. See what I'm saying? In LA, you can get up every day of the year and go outside. In Los Angeles, a storm means that it's only going to rain for about 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. Might rain for 4 hours and might drizzle for the rest of the day. Temperature don't drop below 40 degrees. I doubt if the temperature even gets to 40 degrees. But that's the worst. If there's an earthquake here, by the time you feel it, it's over. You see what I'm saying? We have earthquakes regularly, but that's not no devastating earthquake, because the buildings are retrofitted here. But LA is if y'all ever notice, everybody that makes it comes to Los Angeles. You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact that I guess it's the weather, man. You know what I mean? I'm a product of that, because of the fact that my father came to Los Angeles when I was a kid and brought me. And my father brought me to LA in 1998 when I was like a year old. So you know what I'm saying? There is something to that. But I'm saying all this here because of the fact that when we look at the world, what the world really means, we have to have an understanding. Us as a people, not just in LA, not just in the South, not just in the East, but all over, We have to start educating. We got to start building. We got to start creating economic revenue. We got to start working on creating businesses. We got to start, see, like I speak of this homelessness here, the only way we can eliminate homelessness is that we ourselves got to start becoming the people that's buying properties, no matter where we at. And we got to start doing that simply because of the fact that ain't nobody going to take care of us but us. So as we ourselves look at the world for what it truly is, and that means that we got to start building and creating a better world because of the fact that our children, our grandchildren, and our descendants to come are going to be left in this world. And the world ain't shit if we ain't left nothing here for them. You see what I'm saying? But like I say, it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the world right now from the aspect of just being in it and just being a black man in it. As I'm watching the world now, man, I'm just saying, I see as the world changes every fucking day. I watch the news, man. As I'm literally, while I'm right here talking to y'all, I got CNN, you know, with the muted. And it's just so much going on. I'm looking at how Donald Trump, he's dismissive of everything that takes place regarding race and everything else. But yet and still he's supportive of his supporters. No matter if that's the Klan, no matter if that's some white nationalist, socialist motherfuckers, no matter if it's the 600 motherfuckers in the caravan and one was killed in Portland, Oregon. But at the same time, he will call groups like Black Lives Matter terrorists because they don't support white interests. You see what I'm saying? To be divisive, and to be divisive like that is to call in one half of the group, one half of the country against the other half. See, Donald Trump used the word a long time ago, and he said that if he didn't get reelected, there might be a civil war. And if you understand that ideology, right now we're in that space. And I'm gonna show y'all what I mean, and I'm gonna be real as a motherfucker with y'all. And listen to what I'm saying to you. Okay, Jacob Blake was a black man, right? Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse was a Caucasian, right? The two guys that he killed in Kenosha, Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken, they were white. The third guy that was wounded, he was white. The guy that was killed in Portland, Oregon yesterday, he was white. Now, what we're looking at here, we are damn near looking at the United States being in the means of a civil war. Because this is not black people. These are people that are in support of black people fighting. A lot of these are Caucasians that are in support of black people. These are our allies. And they're fighting the whites that are against the equality and the liberation of black people. People are dying. Motherfuckers are pulling guns out. The Constitution is in play right now. You see what I'm saying? They're utilizing the United States Constitution as their grounds and their means. They call Kyle Rittenhouse a hero. This is what the right-wing media said. They got a lawyer, I think his name is Lynn Wood, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But he's taking his case. When he saw it on the news, and he said this is a simple case of self-defense. But it's crazy because if you view the video, from what I've seen in the video, I think somewhat Kyle Rittenhouse is going to get one murder. This is my belief. He's going to get one murder. I doubt if he's going to get the two murders, the second murder and the attempted, because anybody who saw that video, you see that they chased him down after he shot the first person, which was done off camera. And then when they chased him down and he fell and they were trying to get the gun from him, he turned the gun on the crowd. He killed one guy. And then at the same time, what he did was he shot the other guy. That's going to be a self-defense right there they're going to use. But he's wrong because it's going to be cause and effect. Instagram, I'm going right now on there. I see I only got a couple seconds left. You know what I mean? This is gonna be on IGTV, so y'all start y'all watch parties and y'all share it on TV. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out. Don't forget MaddRonaldRadio.net, Madd_Ronald_Roland, Madd Ronald Radio Vision. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. Health, wealth, peace, and prosperity. All right. Facebook. Like I was saying to you guys, the thing about it is that if we look at this here, right, he's going to get a self-defense because they were chasing him down with the gun after he shot the first guy, and that's what they're going to use on the video. The guy hit him with a skateboard and he shot the dude. They're going to use that in the video and they're going to call that self-defense. Now the thing about this is that the first murder, I doubt they're going to call that self-defense. But watch this. I could be wrong, because if they use cause and effect, right? When they say cause and effect, that means the reason that he was killed was because, right? The reason anybody was killed was because. Now watch this. The reason anybody was killed was because there was a 17-year-old on site with an illegal assault rifle. You see what I'm saying? He was 17 years old with an illegal assault rifle. So what that means is that he didn't have any business being there, and he was too young to be armed. So cause and effect could be something that they can be using to they can use to convict him. That's a sensible means in a way of convicting him. But I doubt if he would get. I doubt the last two. I doubt if he'll get that murder, that attempted murder, because of the fact that what they're going to say is they're going to say, because of the human beings in a stressful situation, we go through what is called fight, flight, or freeze. Your brain releases adrenaline. Your adrenal glands release what is called, I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head, but it's an adrenaline that is released through the body, and you're going to do one of three things. You're going to fight, you're going to run, or you're going to freeze up. And in that moment, he was in the like being hunted, but he had already shot someone. So I say that he won't get the first murder because they're saying on the video, the guy's saying, what did he do? And they're saying on video, he shot someone. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. You know what I mean? Dante Marbury said, told you I got you. Hope you got more podcast viewers. That should have been mandatory out of love and morals and loyal. No one should have to tell you, but a reminder on your point is different. Well, you know, the thing about it, man, is that I try my best to be a person that's trying to raise consciousness and awareness. And that's my thing. You know what I mean? El Brother #1 said he's lying. He is illegally armed, holding a gun in a threatening manner. Right, he is. He is illegally holding a gun in a threatening manner. That goes back to cause and effect. That's why I said it like that there. The cause and effect is he's underage. So therefore, this is not his gun, because they're not going to sell an assault rifle to a 17-year-old. At the same time, he comes from Antioch, Illinois. He traveled across state lines to be there. He's a vigilante is what he is. But as we view this for what it truly is and how it really works, this is the United States. So the Constitution even works for the criminal. You see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, let me see, can I pull that video back up? I want to pull that video back up one more time, because of the fact that video was very, very, that was some cold shit right there. And therefore, let's see what did we miss in this video here. So y'all stand by and let me pull it back up one more time for you.
He just shot them. Hey, dude right here just shot them. Dude right here just shot all them down there. That dude just shot them right there. That dude right here. Yeah.
Injured straight ahead. Someone injured straight ahead. No! Get out of the road! Get down there!
All right, y'all. Y'all see, the interesting thing about that grabs me is how the police just dismissed him. The police department simply just told him get out of the road. That the guy's pointing him out and saying that guy just shot those people. I mean, man, what fucking world are we in? And I mean, what kind of law do they have in a place like that? If the police department let you walk up to them with an assault rifle and they go right past you, they don't even regard you. Shit, they ain't gonna do that to me. Shit, I'm too dark for that. See what I'm saying? So the thing about what I'm saying is that when we look at this on an overall level, it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's really crazy, man, because of the fact that what the fuck is the world coming to, man? I mean, you know, we living in a space like that there where it's that unsafe. You know, the vigilantism is on the rise. Then at the same time, man, we got to look at this shit here, man. The police is shooting at us. We got to look at, you know, it's just it's the Wild West out in this motherfucker, man. So don't be surprised at what the fuck is coming next. You know what I mean? Tiger Knight said if he was a minority, he would have been killed. I know he would have been killed. I'm amazed. You know that at the end of all this here, the police literally thanked them for being there and gave them water after he committed these murders. He tried to turn himself in. He walked toward them with his hands up. You guys saw that. But that's so fucking crazy because of the fact that, you know what I mean? Man, I mean, shit, I don't understand it. The fact that we are, man, we in a motherfucking space right now. I don't know, man. The United States is coming to another thing, man. And in Portland, it's like, shit, we don't know what the fuck is going on down there. You know, Donald Trump and the mayor of Portland are going at it. Then at the same time, you know, the protesters are in the streets. Now they got the protesters in the streets, and you got the Trump supporters coming through there now. Now we in a space, man, where the world is turning into something else. These motherfuckers are in the streets, man. It's like, wow. It's crazy as fuck, man. We're in a space where it's something else, man. We don't know what the fuck the world is coming to. So, you know, for what it is and what it may be and what it's becoming, I don't know, man. Shit. I mean, shit, the world gonna be divided, man. Shit, we might be going back to the Confederacy, the North and the South, or whatever the fuck it was before that. Cause I mean, and it's crazy. And the way the people are, man, it's a whole nother element of this here, man, you know, because this is the funny side of it. You hear about the gun battles and all this gunplay going on, but ain't no black people with no guns. That's the funny part of this shit here. The black people don't have no guns. The black people ain't shooting nobody. The black people are protesting peacefully. It's the agitators. It's the motherfucking anarchists, and it's all these other people with other agendas that are in the middle of things, that are making things hectic and going above and beyond to create total chaos. I mean, we're in another space, man. Like I say, you know, I don't know what the fuck to call it, man. The world itself is changing. But, I mean, I hope it can change for the better. You know what I mean? And like I say to y'all, don't forget to support my content. www.maddronaldradio.net. That's the podcast website. Don't forget the Madd Ronald Radio. That's on all streaming platforms. That's on Google Podcasts. That's on Apple Podcasts. That is on Spotify, TuneIn, you name it, it's there. It's on all streaming platforms. You can find my podcast. YouTube, Madd Vision. I'm there. Don't forget the website, my other two websites, bloodsandcrips.net and maddronald.com. And Instagram, Madd_Ronald_Rolling. Support the content. because of the fact that, like I said, you know what I mean? I'm a blood. I'm not supposed to speak how I speak. I'm not supposed to think how I think. I'm someone that is actually supposed to be here to corrupt your minds and misinform you. Somebody here is supposed to be giving you the information to fuck your lives up rather than try to empower you and give you something to build on and to live by. So therefore, you know what I mean? I understand that the deck was stacked against me just like it was stacked against you. But at the same time, you know, we can't use that for no excuses, because we got to go from where we're from. We got to build, we got to empower, and we got to more or less do for our people to enhance the quality of life. A lot of mistakes were made in the past. A lot of misguidance was done. A lot of misconceptions. See what I'm saying? A lot of antagonism. You know what I mean? We were taught to believe that we were our own enemies, but in reality, we're not. See, it's easy to use one to hold the other down. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that they're always going to look for those that are closest to us to be our own enemies, because that's who we're going to see the most. But at the same time, y'all, I'm finna get out of here, and I wish you all health, wealth, peace, and prosperity. And I want all of y'all to be safe out there, because of the fact that it's crazy as a motherfucker, man. This is OG Madd Ronald, man, and I'm out of here.
This has been a Madd Ronald Radio Network production. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow our content. Be on the lookout for up-and-coming podcast shows, interviews, and live broadcasts. Thank you very much for following our network. The Madd Ronald Radio Network is available on Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Alexa, and Amazon Echo.